Do you want to come to Canada or learn how? Well, today on this special segment of Channel 9/5 News, we'll be talking about immigration. Can you move to Canada? Are you qualified? Stay tuned for more information. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amy Kendrick from Channel 9/5 News, and today we have with us Jason Kenney, Canada's Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. What kinds of people do we see immigrating to Canada, Jason?
Well, usually we group immigrants into 4 categories, and those are refugees, family class, economic immigrants, and other. Each category has different requirements to get in.
Do you want to tell us about those requirements?
Of course. I'll start with the economic, the most popular. 55%. They come to Canada to join the workforce. They are generally educated, and they often have a job lined up before they come into Canada. They get into Canada on the point system. And so the point system works is you take a test and earn points based on how good your answers are. Some questions are like what your work experiences are, your past education, your age, and if you speak Canada's official languages. And more questions as well.
Wow, that's a lot. Please continue.
With pleasure. The second largest is the family class at 28%. This one is pretty straightforward. If you have family in Canada and want to reunite with them, you can come to Canada. Of course, there's a waiting list, and it depends on the circumstances.
That's fantastic. Now, I'm really interested in refugees. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Amy, I can. This holds 13%. Refugees are people who need to escape their homeland because it is unsafe there. This is not based on the point system, but there is a waiting list again. And the last one is other, which holds 4%. Canada is a very nice country and would love to let everyone in. So this one is for other circumstances such as natural disasters and humanitarian reasons.
Wow, you guys sure have your work cut out for you. Thank you for talking to us, Jason.
No problem, Amy.
I hope you all found that interesting. I sure did. Now it's time to check in with Dylan for the weather.
Hello, mate. Today in Edmonton, it's a little toasty. It's minus 76 degrees Celsius. Better turn those air conditionings on. And tomorrow, a cold front will be moving in. We'll be getting 4 feet of snow. Wow. No biggie. Whoa, it's our lovely anchor, Amy. What can I do for you?
Well, I thought that since today we're talking about immigration, and you yourself immigrated from Australia, maybe you could talk to us a little bit about your experience. Why don't we go inside and talk?
Okay. Some factors that were important before Canada accepted me was I able to contribute to the economy? Did I have a job lined up? Was I educated? These were easier for me because all the answers to those questions were yes. Another thing they considered before taking me in was my health. Because I'm an economic immigrant, I still had to prove I had good health. I wouldn't want to be putting other Canadians at risk. Canada had to make sure I was a safe person and not a criminal. Even though Canada is very humane and generous, they take the factors of economic, political, health, and security very seriously. Back to you, Amy.
All right, we're just going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Canada is so nice. What would happen if I moved here permanently? Would I be able to speak Hungarian and French? How would Canada protect my rights as an immigrant?
Hello, and I can answer all your questions through the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act.
Did you say the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act?
Yes, the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act.
What is this mysterious, amazing thing you speak of?
Well, the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act was an act created in 2002. It establishes the 4 categories of immigrants and ensures that Canada is always growing, economically, socially, and culturally. It also respects Canada's multiculturalism and the bilingual languages. So that's French.
Wow, French? I speak French. Bonjour!
Good for you. Above all else, the Canadian Immigration and Refugee Protection Act aims to successfully integrate all immigrants and refugees into Canadian society. Isn't that just peachy?
It sure is.
Bananas, the gift of life, the gift of Del Monte. Buy them. You won't regret it!
Well, hello there, and welcome back to Channel 95 News. I am here with my fellow reporter, Michelle Adams, and today's topic of conversation is immigration.
That's right, Amy, and perhaps one of the groups that's most affected by the immigration is the Francophone community. I had the opportunity to interview a young lady on her opinion of how immigration policies in Quebec are affecting her culture. Michelle here. Today I have Marie St. Jean to talk about how immigration has affected her Francophone life. So how do you, as a Francophone, feel about immigration?
Francophones in Canada have really been struggling to hold on to our culture and become a unique community. And we have our own culture, And immigration poses a challenge for us because the more cultures that come into Canada, the more ours gets pushed to the sidelines.
Yeah. And how do you think immigration policies in Quebec have been helping you to strengthen the French culture?
Thanks to the Canada-Quebec Accord, Quebec can seek out immigrants whose first language is French. And once they settle in Quebec, the province can require their children to attend a French-speaking school.
That's right. And every year, about 75% of French-speaking immigrants who move to Canada settle in Quebec.
Yes. Thank you for having me here, Michelle.
You're very welcome. Another group that is struggling due to immigration is the First Nations.
Many Aboriginal peoples and communities still face education, health, and employment challenges due to poverty or past policies and laws.
Aboriginal peoples who are struggling to find employment, training. I can't do it. Stop! I got the camera. Okay. Aboriginal peoples who are struggling to find employment or training opportunities are not helped along by the fact that Canada is filling its needs for skilled workers partly through immigration.
Brought to you in part by Villaggio's Bread, the real Italian tradition.
Now we're going to go over to Amy, who is on location in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Thanks, Michelle. And yes, here I am, definitely in British Columbia. It snowed a lot this year, a lot more than usual. I can talk to Dylan about that later. What was I saying?
Immigration.
Oh, yes. So, a lot of people think that immigration is just the federal government, but in fact, each year, provinces can nominate the amount of immigrants that they need and what professions they are. For example, if BC, where I definitely am standing right now, if BC needed doctors, then more doctors could immigrate here because then there would be more job opportunities for them. Back to you, Michelle.
And that concludes our special segment on immigration. Thanks for watching and see you next time on Channel 95 News.